Welcome, everybody, to the July 29th, August meeting of the Resiliency Committee, and it is 4:04. Great. I have agendas and Ken's minutes there.
Does anyone want? You've got them.
I have.
Which reminds
Does
me,
anyone need them?
may I have an agenda? I realize I left mine home.
Oh, here's the minutes. Does anyone else want minutes?
No, thanks.
All right, I'll take them, and then I'll take.
Okay.
Anyone else want an agenda?
Guess not.
Not here.
Okay. So today, who's absent? Howie's not here, nor is Billy, nor is Sean, nor is Brittany. And Nancy West is traveling. Saw Brittany this morning, and she was not going to be able to make the meeting. So, all right. Minute taker today will be Jay. Thank you.
A question, Mary Ann?
Yes.
If we don't have a select board person, are they absent or just don't mention it?
Actually, Margaret's our select board person. I mean, she's the
Is that
planner.
staff rep? Does that cover it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a select board person?
Kevin, but I don't expect to see him here very often.
In the past.
He gets his updates from Billy, he said. In the past, we've used one or the other.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I was going to start with an energy and technology update, but Howie's not here.
That makes it quick.
That makes it really quick. What I'd like to do today is kind of go over the other three items. I would like to spend some time on the mitigation investment policy as well as the next grant that's coming up the end of August to see if we can get some ideas for that. Jay, you're doing minutes. Were you in a position to give the report of the Communication Resource Information Group?
Our subgroup?
Yeah.
Well, I can punt because I missed it, but I've read the notes.
Thank you.
So the idea is this is the outreach to the community about resiliency and storm emergency preparation.
And resources and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're, again, using the model of the Aroustic resiliency booklet, really,
Yeah.
and adapting it to be Harpswell relevant. So we've each taken, Mary Ann is doing the map of Harpswell, Nancy, Gail Hayes, and I have each taken pages to make Harpswell E. So we're looking at what's relevant to Harpswell in resiliency and storm preparedness and what resources are relevant. For example, the Rousick one has Saginaw EMA, emergency management. We're Cumberland County Emergency Management. They have Code Red. We have they have RAVE. We have mass notification, local, and Code Red county. So adapting it to be relevant, and we're looking into how to do it, get it done, but also how to get it out to the public. So Arousik used some grant funding from the GoPIF grant to print it, and it went to every resident by mail. And it's a really nifty booklet. It has what I love this, that the Conservation Commission booklet does too. Why is it important, and what is it, and then some tips. So we're still working on it. It's not done. We're fine tuning.
No, it's not. Is your green light on?
Yes.
Thank you.
So continues to be a work in progress, and I think it'll be a valuable resource. I find myself as I'm looking at my pages, like there's one that talks about hanging laundry out to dry, which is a good thing, but is that going to happen? We're going to have to decide what's...
And the other thing, too, just to tack on to that is part of our sustainability plan was to get these energy efficiency items out to the public. And this will be a one way to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing I keep mentioning, and thank you to Ken, already sent me some pictures. One way to involve the community is to ask for relevant pictures of storm damage. Ken sent me some drone images.
The drone, Jimmy, those were great.
Yeah, those are cool. So try to make that a part of the community outreach.
Good. Okay.
Mary Ann, does that fit the requirements for this grant, or?
It might. That's what we're going to get to.
Okay, good.
Maybe we should talk about, let's move mitigation to the bottom. And do GoPIF, it's okay now, because they sort of fit together. We have tried in the past to do a number of things with the fire department regarding the GoPIF grant. We realized that the box walls were not something that they were interested in all in. And, but then we had some good ideas last month talking about building in infrastructure to be climate ready. For example, the new, Ken, do you want to expand on that?
Discuss with the new emergency building. Right, I think our discussion last meeting was the hopes that in the early stages, we could have them design it for efficiency, whether that might be allowing for future electric car charging stations, possibly putting solar panels, from roof design. So it was sort of, really the question was some way we could use this GoPIF grant to, in the early stages of the new building, to make it more either energy efficient.
Energy ready.
Yeah, or even possibly accommodate more emergency uses as well.
Yeah. I have not had too much luck moving in that direction because the committee is very caught up with just getting the design done and started. There were things like we talked about the three-phase power not being tied into the town yet.
Yeah.
There might be conduits or something that could be buried when you're designing the building so that when you're ready to bring it in, you don't have to dig up the whole
Cheaper
place.
than,
Yeah, and the same thing when you're doing panels, I would think, for, oh, here comes Howie. Panels for electricity,
for solar panels.
for solar panels. There's things I would think could be put in.
Mike Drake was literally just behind you outside the door.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Snuck away.
He stepped away. Oh, too bad he didn't come in. Hi, Howie.
Hey, Howie.
Howie?
We're just talking about this. Would you like to bring a chair up here? Or?
If you want to be near a microphone.
How about over there?
There's room here.
The reason I'm late is I just found out I had a complete tear of the rotator cuff.
Oh, no.
You had what?
Been in a fight?
I had
Rotator.
a fight with my patio.
Oh,
It won.
Yes. So I can only do about this with this arm.
oh my gosh.
They called this morning and gave me an appointment to see the doctor, and I just got back from that.
Oh, my heavens.
Oh, that's painful.
No, it's not. That's the bad news. If it was painful, it wouldn't be a complete tear.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hurt at this point. Okay.
So where we were, Howie, is I sort of let the energy and technology go by,
Okay.
and we started to talk about what we had discussed about a possible grant for the GoPIF grant for building an infrastructure on the fire station. We haven't had a whole lot of luck in getting a conversation going. Christy mentioned, she brought it up at their last meeting, and they're evidently just so focused on just getting started on what they're doing, they don't want to think about it.
So what I understand is that the current codes require that they build the building such that you could put solar panels on top.
Oh, okay.
That's my understanding. I don't know that that's 100% true, but it
Makes
would be
sense.
short-sighted not to do that because you're
Yeah.
building a building from scratch. You might as well make the steel a fraction of an inch thicker.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so, I mean, I guess the thing to do is just to make sure that they, know that we're interested in that and let it go for now.
It sounds like it because Mike has not gotten back to me about. I kind of sent to him, and I copied you and Ken on that last week, kind of our discussion that we had last month, and I copied that to Mike, but he hadn't gotten back to me. And Christy said she mentioned it at the last meeting, but they just seemed so focused on what they're trying to get done that it sort of
I
like they
think
didn't.
you sent forward that message from Christie too about.
Yeah, yeah. And evidently they are building things in, but we just don't know what they are. So as far as a grant opportunity, we probably should just let it go for now, I guess.
Is this the fire committee?
Emergency services.
That's the Fire and Rescue Committee? Or,
Fire and rescue.
Oh, fire and rescue.
isn't it Fire and Rescue?
It might be emergency services. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, so that, so something else has come up that we might consider. Jay talked about the communication resource booklet. And there has been a lot of talk at the comp plan meetings about having a water study done. And Long Island near Portland got a grant to do a water study. And also Georgetown and Arousek, besides doing the
Booklet or
the booklet, they are also involved with a WaterWise program, and they are testing people's wells. And they're basically making it volunteer. And what I wanted to do is show you this because I think it's pretty cool.
When you say testing, I think you mean how resilient, so to speak, or impact they are, not necessarily water quality, but quantity.
No, what they're doing is they're trying to determine where the wells are.
Oh.
And they're trying to give some carrots to get people to give us that information. They've built into it, you will build in water testing for E. coli or what the normal water test is. We will give you that for free if you sign up by a certain time to have it done. And then they bring out, why is this not coming open?
I think the TV shut off.
Yeah, would you turn it on, please? So basically, they have an online form, a Google form. It asks you a lot of information, and come on.
It's working.
Oh, it's not opening. Why is it not opening? Well, anyhow, I'll try to keep talking and get it up. It gives you a form to fill out, and it asks you where your well's located, to take a picture, get the coordinates for the state. It talks about, okay, once that opens, it's going to be a link. Would you mind?
Yeah, I gotcha.
You're going to give them information. It's tied into all the things that we have been doing as part of our WaterWise program with the Conservation Commission, tying into the state program of wanting to keep track of wells and get baseline study of some test wells, all tied in together. I'm trying to figure out, so basically they do it this way, and what they offer is if you sign up by July 26th, you will get a free water test. We're thinking about how you would get the most number of people in town to give us our locations of where their wells are. And this might be a good carrot to use. I'm trying to find out how much it costs for the water testing. I assume,
$100 range,
I think it's, I was told $20 a piece.
It seemed like last time I did it was a couple years ago. I want to say.
But what did you
60,
do it-
75.
What did you do it for?
It was both certain elements, you know, like lead, cadmium,
Yeah.
as well as bacteria.
Yeah. That's kind of what this sounds like it is, too.
And is that taking a sample to the state lab, or?
Usually, just give
I
you
think
do it
they- I
yourself.
think-
They give you instructions. You
You
just mail
you
it out.
yourself, and either mail it out or
But it
whatever
goes
the
to
town,
state.
what they've decided to do to,
Probably a private lab, I think.
there's a certain lab, yeah. So my sense is it's going to cost at least around $50,000 to do everybody. This might be a good study, a good way to access this grant, because we could do it to do the printing for the grant, the booklet we're working on,
Yeah.
plus the setting up the process in town, and just trying to find out what the cost is.
So with the goal, the bigger goal is just understand where wells are, or anything else, such as if they have problems with quality or quantity, or is.
Yeah, that's where you have to really go through. There's a form that you go through and answer all these questions.
I mean, the big issue for everyone is quantity, right?
It is.
Or infiltration of salt water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Those are the two big issues that people
Now, we're
are
never
worried
going to know whether we have enough. We've determined, but with everything we've done with the geological survey, we're never going to have an answer like if you go to this part of town, you're going to have good water, and if you go to that part of town, you won't. However, we have sort of on the comprehensive plan said we're going to do this to get more data. And I'm thinking this might be a way that we could, if we got this grant, it would help pay for it. Otherwise, we would have to get a grant someplace else to do it.
Mary Ann, I'm thinking about why it's important, and one is, why is it important to know where the wells are? So that's a question I think we'd need to talk about in an application. And secondly, I think being able to test would be of value to people.
So I think there are a couple things that as I contemplate what would the value of this information be, and obviously just where are the wells in town is obvious, but to then build a constituency that, you know, everyone is concerned about the water in this town. So if you're concerned about the water in this town, participate in this, because yes, you'll get this free survey, but what else will you get? You'll become part of a program, and if your well fails, we want to do something about well failure. Not that we can save your well, but we need to know if your well failed, because we also need to know how deep your well is. We need to know what your pump was pumping at. I mean, there's other information that would be helpful, and that it's through that knowledge and that information that you gather over time that, you know, if we have, you know, 5 wells fail on the road that I'm on, but I don't know that 5 wells have failed, then we don't know we actually have a problem there. So, and everyone is concerned, but we don't have a system in place to know whether the problem is actually occurring somewhere or not. And, you know, people are saying, oh, you can't build any more houses until we know whether there's a water problem. But we don't know if there's a water problem because we don't have a system to even know.
Exactly.
And we know that it's highly, highly individualistic because of the nature of the rock and the fractures and all that sort of stuff. So the only way we're really going to figure this out is to do it as a community, have everybody participate, we generate some sort of incentive, but we articulate what we're trying to get out of this, which is a better understanding of water use and water problems.
Right.
Something like that.
I
And
agree. I think the ideally would be, you obviously first get location well and background information, but what would be really useful in my mind is a periodic update, so that, exactly what Tim was saying, if we know, okay, we had an unusually dry August this year, is there any pattern of where people had problems with wells?
And you remember Nancy talked about, I don't know, it was like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago.
The
about-
sounding thing.
Right, that there's a, and you could have, the people that are really excited about this, you could say, here's your, your string and your level or whatever, and if you want to participate, it would be helpful to know how the different wells are fluctuating
Yeah.
over time. But essentially, we're trying to, part of it is an education outreach program that this committee is responsible for. But, so we use this as a way to try to encourage people to get involved. We give them a reason to be involved, and we give them a reason for them to keep us updated. And of course, not everybody will do it, but something's better than nothing.
Yeah, and I think we're trying to also, as part of this, we've pretty much predetermined on the Conservation Commission, we're never going to know the exact amount of water any particular well has. However, what we can do to be sure we have water is conserve. So it becomes an educational project of how to conserve water on your land with various ways, whether it's inside or whether it's keeping vegetation. It becomes a much larger.
Oh, I agree, but also if wells fail,
Oh, yeah,
we need to know that. And there's no way to know if wells are failing right now.
we just know periodically some wells fail.
There's a state, you're supposed to report it to the state, but that's not local.
Is happening.
I don't know if people do it. And
I'm sure they
Probably
know.
no.
I think this is part of
I
the.
think no.
Yeah. I mean, if they do, that would be a source to get the data that
Right.
they already have, and we could. But I think what you're talking about is more robust.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, and well drillers are supposed to send the location and the gallons per minute when they drill a well.
Oh.
Some do, some don't. We checked this a few years ago, and I think it was a case of they had paper documents prior to some year. But each one of us on the Conservation Commission checked our street, and we could just look at what they had, and it wasn't accurate. So what they have is, for some reason, is not very accurate. And they know it.
So when you go to buy a house here as well, depending on how you do it, when we purchased our house, we got the well tested. And it's part of
Yeah,
just
that's
the
part-
well working, and somebody comes in and they figure it out now. And part of it is, does it meet a certain minimum of gallons per minute? And now, Corey, it's only a one-time shot, but at least you get something.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a way to see if we can encourage that information that's gathered in the selling of houses.
There is, and these are things I think once we have more information that we could think about, even in codes, coming something to be added to the application when you're building a house.
I mean, I think it's probably going to be well beyond scope of the grant we're talking about. But
Oh, yeah.
ideally, you would like to have some sort of local infrastructure to start keeping track of. Okay, someone's going to report their well. Someone at the other end's got to at least log that somehow, and so that it becomes useful information.
Tim Clark really wants to get GIS, to be able to do, when somebody builds a new house, you keep the well with this GIS stick and mark where the well is, where the four corners of the septic are. You could mark the four corners of the house.
Right.
But he'd really love to be able to mark the wells and septic so that we can gather that data.
Oh, that'd be incredibly useful for many use.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, but then you run into kind of privacy concerns,
which is the issue.
yeah.
So if we offer people to be able to sign up and be part of the community to know this, maybe we'll get a good percentage.
Yeah, and I think and it's on us to explain why would anyone want to participate.
Yes.
But it's really only in the collective that we're going to learn more about our water situation. Because other than, yes, my well failed because I now have no water, but you had no
Yeah.
way to know that it might be coming.
So we could offer not just water testing, but string?
Well, actually, what was actually I was told that's supposed to be pretty reliable is the ice cube test.
Oh,
You
yeah.
You talk about dropping ice cube time, how long you can hear the splash, and then obviously you have to do that over time. Maybe you do it after a lot of rain, and then presumably that would be a shorter time versus a dry spell.
That's interesting.
But I've forgotten what the number is. Certain, so many seconds correspond to so many feet down that your static pressure is pushing the water up.
Yeah, there's a couple of things with a string and a stone or something too that you just lower it down till it gets wet, or till you feel it.
And we're talking not just houses, but businesses as
We're talking
well.
everybody who has a well. Yeah,
Because they may have slightly different motivations.
yeah.
But with all the, we were talking about before it started, so much of the comp plan pushback is mainly around housing and
And
a lot of
water.
that's based on wells. This might be a good time, people obviously very engaged and concerned about wells and water quality,
Yeah.
so timing may be good.
Well, I suspect the timing, go ahead.
Are the GoPIP applications public?
Yeah.
So could you ask for a copy of the Georgetown application?
No, I haven't found it yet.
Okay, because instead of waiting for Georgetown to answer us, maybe.
Well, that's what I was kind of looking for, but I spent a lot of time and couldn't find it.
Okay.
This is the best I got.
Could you call them? Could we call or?
Yeah,
email them?
we're gonna keep calling on this, because I'm gonna talk to them about whether we can just copy it,
It obviously works.
and we've done it before on other
And
things.
the reason I brought up the businesses is some businesses are already bringing in water.
Exactly.
They're out of water.
Right, that's
Really?
right.
I know at least two. So
There's a few, yeah.
Holbrook's and I think down the Dolphin Way, they've
Yeah.
had to bring in water.
Dolphin brings in 80,000 gallons a week or something.
Yeah.
Do they
And
really?
Sundridge, at least when Sheldon owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to truck in water.
So, I mean, there are businesses that,
Yeah,
whose wells are insufficient.
Well, quite a few residents too, some are Airbnbs and some
Yeah.
are,
Yep.
it's just a better way for them to have water than,
So we need to look into that a bit as part of this.
so if this sounds like a logical next move, we'll work towards getting this ready for the end of August.
I was looking through the thing, of all the things, was this under build healthy and resilient communities? Would be the
Yeah,
one that would.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think, given how much this has come up at the comprehensive plan meeting and all the issues with affordable housing, and it's on everybody's mind, and the fact that there already are businesses that are running out of water, I wasn't aware that there were so many.
yeah.
Wow, it just seems like, yeah, no.
Well, and it's the Estes Lobster served everything in disposable plates and cups and everything because they couldn't wash.
Wash dishes.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's always the
can
same
wash
with
it.
Sundrist. A lot of the, yeah.
Wow.
So,
And the Merritt House trucks in water.
and they truck in water at the Merritt House. So if it sounds agreeable, we'll work on that.
I
Probably
think,
have to have another meeting before the end of August.
I think it's brilliant to try to get the plan somebody else did to
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could just,
build
Nothing
up.
like
I
plagiarism
think we
here.
need
Yeah.
a smaller group to.
we'll need a group on it. So who would like to work on this?
I'm willing to help with.
Great, great. And I'll pursue, and Margaret also suggested talking to some of the planners in Georgetown and Arousek, right?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I don't know how connected the Conservation Commission is in the planning department.
I'm not sure either, however. And Jay, do you have an in with Jody?
She's been very nice to me.
Well, why don't you, would you mind following up with her on that? I mean, I'll talk to her more, but I sent her a message too. She did not get back to me.
Okay.
I mean, it was just like 4 or 5 days ago, but, and then we can figure out how much we need to go for.
And we need some more proposal reviewers at least, if you're not doing the writing, that you're willing to
I will,
help us
I will,
review.
I'll review.
And we're gonna have to come up with our story.
Yeah.
And, in fact that we have a comprehensive plan going on, and I believe it's one of the things on our sustainability plan too, so that,
Well, I think it's really important, this discussion, because we want to know where the wells are, why. Well, we talked about the why, and you need to articulate that. So, the state maybe knows it, but you still have to say it.
they're trying to get a better handle on it, but it's going to take them time to get the handle. They're also looking for wells that we've talked about that you haven't used in 2 years, if you have 2 wells on your property, that they can put, they're trying to get a base level of the water table in the islands. So they're going to put a monitor on wells that are not used, and then they'll monitor the water level in those wells. And that's a state program that they have going now. So we can incorporate these things all into this. Good.
And the grants are up to 75,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were just 50 for an individual town.
No, this one's 75
This
an
one's-
individual.
okay.
The last one was too.
Yeah.
The one in Arousik was 125 because they did 2 towns together.
Right, okay, I knew there was some bonus for doing
There's a bonus when you do that, yeah. So, but I have no idea what the printing costs. And if we can get both printed, that would be nice. So, good. We'll move on in that direction. And I'm going to be going away next week for 2 weeks. So I won't be back until the 19th.
Did you get permission for that?
Yeah. Although I forgot to ask you for permission. But Margaret will pick up, I'm sure.
Sure.
Okay. Before we go on to the mitigation investment policy, which we've done so little on, Margaret, would you like to tell the group about what we did this morning down at Mitchell Field?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. So this morning, we went to Mitchell Field, and we met with people from GPCOG, the Greater Portland Council of Government, and there was people from the Maine Geological Survey and the Maine Soil and Water Conservation, maybe. And they are doing a project at Mitchell Field where they
Should we get Margaret near a microphone?
Oh, yes. Why don't we do that? Come over here.
they're doing a project where they are looking at different coastal erosion and different factors, and then doing some model shoreline stabilization using some living shoreline techniques. But it's really a plan that seems like it's supposed to be to kind of make a model design that can be replicated in other places. So they liked Mitchell Field. They liked the north side of the jetty, which is the side that nobody goes on, because there's different factors there. Like there's a cobble beach. It's nutrient starved. The town thought more they would use the south side of the beach because there has been a previous stabilization project there before. So we thought they would build on the previous one and the previous knowledge. And so I don't know which side they're going to use, but we met with a whole bunch of people down there today, and it was super interesting. Yeah.
And basically, you know, the state is looking to start to talk about mixed shoreline stabilization. That's using not completely living, but a combination. And they're looking for deposition of new beach, basically.
Combination of,
living and like riprap combined with living shoreline.
Yeah, and plus, if you, the whole thing with erosion is it's taking the soil out, it brings it back in and deposit it, and you really want to establish a living dune that will then catch the water and filter it during storms. rather than a complete riprap that just deflects the water down to the next place where it can make inroads. So the state is looking to come up with new studies, I get, not studies, but new techniques for towns to use. And this particular, the other two projects were in Portland and in Willard Beach, and which is a sand, and then the other place is in Falmouth, I think, where it was at an outflow of a water treatment plant. So, and Mitchell Field is kind of, as you go north, is kind of the first place where you see this type of a shoreline. So it was pretty interesting. So yeah.
Is this related to you met with some people, students from somewhere coming to do?
No, and it's
Except-
interesting. That's another project that is being done through the University of Virginia, where students are coming down to look at Mitchell Field and come up with resilient ways and interesting ways to deal with resiliency. I did let them know about that today because we've got all these projects that are kind of working in silos, and yeah. They are coming down in September 9th.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, when you
It's a
can't make it.
Tuesday.
To take a look. They're going to bring all the students down to look at Mitchell Field in various areas for them to start thinking about some resiliency ideas and design, you know.
And when you say resiliency ideas and design, what do you mean?
I don't know.
They didn't.
It's very vague.
Very vague.
You know, you're looking at architecture students.
And is it what things that will be resilient that one would build at Mitchell Field? Or
Could be.
Is that the idea?
I think so. I hate to be so vague, but
Okay.
it's very. They did a project in South Portland last year and Portland. And
I think they could go anywhere in the town, though. I don't think they're limited to Mitchell Fields.
no, I don't think so. And they've been out with the fishermen to get a sense of the working waterfront. And the problem with it is very vague.
Okay.
And so anyhow, they're coming in. Jamie Hark was on the Conservation Commission, went to the University of Virginia. He worked on the project last year in Portland and thought they wanted to start looking, going north into mid-coast Maine, and chose Harpswell and Bath for this year's project.
And so do I interpret it as it's just purposely vague because they're leaving it open to whatever they sort of uncover in the course of their research as to what might be best for the town? Is that the idea, or is it focused in on a specific area? Or
I
I'm
think
just
it's-
curious. I'm shy.
I think it's focused in the town, and they're choosing Mitchell Field as a place to look at
Okay.
and think about. But they've also been out with the working waterfront to see just the shoreline of Harpswell in general.
Okay.
And it's a private foundation.
The website says, by connecting current and future professionals working across disciplines, the organization creates opportunities for communities to reimagine climate challenges and inspire resilient solutions. So whatever that means to you.
You're in the business, Tim, you know.
Is that the
Seven
University
different things to
of
seven
Virginia, or is that what you went to?
Envision Resilience.
And that's the group that was here this morning.
No,
No,
this is the other group. So Envision Resilience is like a bunch of grad students that are in some sort of architecture program.
So I've heard of this happening years ago in places, and when I hear envision and vision, they go in and they do a series of social surveys, and they find out what are people worried about, what are the big threats, You know, when you look ahead, what do you want your town to look like in 25 years? And then they say, okay, what are the challenges between where you are now and what your vision is of the future? What are the major barriers to getting there? And therefore, then what do we have to design to reduce those barriers? So that's what I imagine that vagueness to say. I just don't know if that's what they're planning to do, but if it's it's different if it's a visioning process versus a set of engineered solutions to something.
I think it's more of a visioning process.
Okay.
They did it in Portland, and you ended up with models
Okay.
at the library at the end
Ah, I see. Okay.
of what you could do.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
So,
So
okay.
Margaret, you said you met with MCOG, Maine Geological Survey, and
GPCOG,
GPCOG.
Greater
Oh, sorry.
Portland, Maine Geological Service, and Maine Soil and Water Conservation District.
And then they
And whoever else
hired,
Mary Ann knew.
yeah, and then Casco Bay Estuary Partnership. Matt Craig was there. Also, GEI?
And other.
Oh, yeah, GEI is GEI got the contract to do the work. So it was GEI, who is also doing the boat launch project. So they have kind of insider info at Mitchell Field. And also a landscape architect firm that they're working with.
Yep. So,
Okay.
just to let you know what's going on in town. Now,
Should we, I don't know if there's any update, now we have Howie, do we want to jump back up to the?
yeah, why don't we do you have anything to report for? anything
Yeah,
to go?
actually, so I've been in touch with, actually, the one of the consultant candidates reached out to say that he doesn't think we can do anything now other than think about what we might want to do once the dust settles, because there's no way you can get anything done in time to, take advantage of any of the stuff that's being canceled, the incentives. However, he called me this week, or last week, with the name of somebody who has worked with, I think Camden he just recently worked with, to look at their electric bills and their solar farm arrangement and the credits that are being misallocated and get it straightened out. And apparently he did a good job of it. So I passed his information to Christie. He wants to see some bills from both CMP and the solar farm agreement, and he'll look it over. He said, an initial look, he's not even going to charge us. If it gets into him doing a lot of work to straighten it out, then, we can, it's not going to be a lot. It's, we're talking about some number of hours, a couple $100 an hour probably. So it'd be the sort of thing that he could arrange it, take it to the select board to approve it. But it sounds like he can review this stuff and help us get it straightened out. The other, someone that I met years ago, when the new solar farm arrangements were first set up, has moved on from where she was then to some other organization. But I talked to her, and she told me that that CMP actually has a person who is supposed to help straighten out these issues.
Oh, really?
And gave me her name and phone number. So I've also passed that to Christie and asked if she wants me to contact or if they want to contact her. Because I could probably do the first contact just to find out what they're capable of doing. And then, work with Christie, or Christie and Terry, or one of them could get in touch with this office at CMP and see what they offer. So,
Sounds good.
one other detail when I was talking to the consultant candidate was the idea of putting, covering the parking lot at the new facility, said it's not cost effective. Even now, it's not cost effective. And if they manage to put a double whammy or triple whammy on the, on solar development, which is tariffs because we don't make any solar panels, so you can't even use it as an incentive to make you buy American. We don't build them. Take away the incentives, and then the net energy billing is being yanked out from under us. Now, I think actually the recommendation that I got the other day was, don't cancel the agreement that we have currently. Get it straightened out, because you might not be able to get as good a deal now that they've changed the rules. So we may be grandfathered into the arrangement that we've got, barring the rule change, putting the solar farm out of business. I mean, that's a possibility if they have to eat the changes that have made it less lucrative. But, I mean, there's three things there that they're just, slamming the solar industry with. So, and what he said was putting those canopies over parking lots is generally not cost effective, because it just costs a lot to put them up. You're putting on top of a building, you're building the building anyway, you're building the structure, you've got the roof, you bolt them onto the roof, but to go and build a structure to support them adds to the cost to the point where it's not cost effective. So that's
Well, that's interesting, though.
pretty, that's the latest news on that front.
And actually, that equation happens quite a bit. If you can latch them onto something, it's much more cost effective. But to build, this is a big problem, building structures just for solar.
Yeah.
That's a
Right.
lot.
I mean, it is kind of nice to have a covered parking lot, but it does cost money.
Right.
But it might make more sense if it was in the south where they can keep it cool. I don't know, but
Yes.
here, probably.
Where
solar
they're
pa-
obsessed with shade anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, solar panels are much more efficient in the cold weather in the wintertime. That's why
Really?
the variation from summer to winter isn't as much as you'd expect.
Huh.
Well, when they're hot, they're less efficient in doing the conversion. It's generally true
I
with
see.
electronics, that they get, the cooler they are, the better they perform.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've noticed with our solar panels is that you look at the length of day and the angle of the sun, and it this time of year, they don't perform like you would expect based on what they did in the winter and spring. In the wintertime, they're, you don't get nearly as much out of them because the days are so short. But it seems like they're capturing more of the energy because they're not hot. So,
Interesting. Yeah. Well, good.
now,
So-
all the solar development that was going on in Maine is not that ridiculous. I mean, there's summertime, there's lots of sunshine, long days, and there's a lot of empty space that you can put them in.
So we had put some money aside as part of Spear for this, didn't we?
No. Well, you're right. It was, instead of putting something on the warrant, they said, you can use Spira for
Okay.
hiring a consultant.
So I guess my point being is if you had to pay to have this,
$12,000
Right,
yeah,
to put into this.
right.
right.
If you had, there's money there if you had to pay this new consultant.
Right.
Is what I was trying
Right.
to make sure. Yeah.
And it's easily below the amount that you would have to go to bids or anything like that. We
Right.
just, it's just hiring somebody to, spend a few hours straightening out the thing. That would be
Yeah.
great.
Great. Well, that's a little more uplifting than the last time we talked about this.
Yes and no. I mean, the solar business is still being torpedoed.
I know.
And it's terrible because it's not the sort of thing you can outsource the jobs
No.
to someplace else. You got to put them up here. And it's nice jobs in the outdoors in the fresh air, not underground digging coal, but,
Yeah, right.
Howie, a suggestion with CMP, you maybe involve your legislators to help,
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
just to get answers.
right. But, I think that the first thing to do is to find out whether this office is supposed to do this, actually is
If
capable of doing it.
exists, yeah.
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 Yeah, good. Okay. This mitigation investment policy that we have to come up with for the Budget Advisory Committee. You're looking quizzical, Dan.
Yes, I am.
We have been asked by the Budget Advisory Committee to give them a climate mitigation policy for them to follow going forward as they're trying to figure out how much money they need to put aside for climate change and updates to roads or whatever. We're not able to put any dollar amounts on this, of course, but we are probably able to use, we can set a policy of what order of operation should be followed. You know, for example, we've done the engineering studies for these 5 most vulnerable roads in town. We had a procedure which we used to rate them as far as how important they were, and we used that. We're probably able to sit down and write something, I would think, that might use some of the same features that we use for the roads on how we prioritize. We might think about we have a procedure set up where we have done engineering studies to get costs so that you kind of have an almost shovel-ready project when you're ready. We might think about how that's built in, where that has to be done before. I'm trying to figure out how we can lay this out. Because it's you need to give them a guide without talking about dollar amounts, basically, because that's not our purview. But we should be able to guide them, I would think, on what they should consider before they make a determination.
Are you talking about for them to do long-term budgetary planning?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But doesn't they actually, numbers matter to them? Or they're looking at budget planning?
Well, we're not giving them numbers, but we're giving them direction on how they should plan.
I don't understand that. We've already done these engineering studies, so we have numbers from certain years, days. So we can give pretty accurate numbers for
We do for those things.
those, well, I mean, that's a huge, I mean, so far, that's our largest ticket item of all the mitigation stuff that we're working on.
I
is
think
the
what we're going to
roads.
find as we move forward, there's going to be other issues besides roads. There's going to be landings.
No,
There's
I mean,
going
we
to-
can include the landings.
Right.
We have data for landings and roads.
But there's going to be other town infrastructure that may come up, buying properties perhaps that'll be flooded, I don't know. But we should be able to give them an overall outline that they could use as they're planning.
I mean, we already have a lot to.
Well, we
give
have
them
that.
That exists, that's
But we're not-
concrete.
We have that, and we can give them that. But,
Are they looking for things like principles?
yeah,
Like, looking forward, you should, these 5 top principles related to
That's-
planning for the future.
that's very good.
which
Would
is
you
different
develop
than-
that?
Well, but we already had some criteria.
We
that
do.
We use for rating the roads and,
Right.
between high, medium, and low. And it wasn't just the urgency, but it also was number of residents, number of businesses, number of
Right.
working waterfront sites,
Right.
so we've got quite a lot of thinking that's been done in that, at least in that part. Not for other types of things, but at least for the roads and landings, which is, as I said, our biggest ticket item into the future, that the town somehow is going to have to grapple with.
And I'm trying to think of what happens when you have 3 roads that are of equal value as far as the reasons we used. What do we suggest for them to make? How do we direct them to go from there? And it might be a case where we're not going to, it's too expensive to do this. We're going to buy the property and let people move. I mean, that's,
Or we live with what they call nuisance flooding, where certain sections may get cut off.
that's right. I don't know, but I'm really looking for some direction because I can't figure out how to.
So what is the, maybe you can just say it again for me so I wrap my head around it. What is the request?
The Budget Advisory Committee wants to know from us
Some
direction on how they would
make decisions?
make decisions on spending the money that will need to be spent.
Okay, so it's not about, if it's focused on spending the money that needs to be spent, then yes, what Deirdre says, we've already done that, we need to just maybe articulate that. But I didn't know if it was, are we providing them guidance on how to think about how much money
I
they
think we
might
need to do both. Well,
Because the other issue is that, it's the incorporation of resilience thinking into the budgetary process. That we didn't do it in the past. It's becoming more important going forward as we watch, number of environmental hazards increase. So how do we prepare the town? And part of it was setting up this whole idea where, we can ask for some funding and, there's the rationale behind the fund that we established as well.
I like what you just said, though.
Yeah, well,
We
but I
want-
mean, there are different aspects of
Right.
thought that
Yeah.
go into this.
And I mean, the criteria that we use for roads is going to be different than criteria for other mitigation, right? Or it may not be.
May not be.
It may be, I mean, can we just use the roads and landings as samples of the thinking that's been done
Right.
to date?
Exactly.
And it's got to do with the number of population, as I said, businesses, working waterfront sites. I mean, those are going to be the case in other mitigation efforts by the town.
But
So-
and I'm sort of wondering that remember the other conversation we had associated with that was,
Yeah.
what happens when you realize that the engineering solution is just too expensive? Then what? What's the thought process you do after that? And we've had a couple of nice wandering discussions about that.
No,
But
and I think that's important to be thinking about.
because there is it's like a go, no-go decision point. What happens if you decide, I mean, we sort of ended up in this discussion that the engineering solution that we thought we were going toward may not be the right solution, and we sort of doubled back on our sense of community, and how do we build on a sense of community as a solution, and what direction does that take us, which led us down a very different path of potential solutions. That journey is a thought process, which are ideas that we haven't necessarily brought forward to share with them. Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Because that's another, that's a slightly different task.
No,
right?
totally.
Because what you're saying is that it's going to become a reality that not all problems are going to have a financial solution.
Right, and
Or viable financial solution.
or
Exactly.
viable for
Exactly.
right, or it gets one of the questions we got to is you hear it all the time. If a place continues to be flooded all the time, should you keep rebuilding there? Right, we hear this all the time.
Yeah.
At what point do you decide this is a failed approach, we should do something different. And maybe they're asking for guidance on that as well. I mean, I don't know.
I
I'm just
personally
interpreting.
think they very well could be. And if they aren't, we might suggest it. I mean, we can give them the nitty-gritty that we have. But questions that just came up is, what do we do when? That decision tree, maybe that's something we could flesh out a little bit.
Let me in clarifying a little bit more, what would we
really
expect
confused.
Budget Advisory Committee to do with whatever guidance we give them? At the end of the day, they recommend we spend this much money on roads, this much on landings, this much on administration, whatever. What is our expectation that how they're going to use whatever guidance we give them on this?
My understanding is they are also thinking about setting up a resilience fund
Okay.
where the town puts so much money away every year for dealing
I
with
mean, I
this.
see the value of that, but that there again, now we're talking numbers.
Yeah. And there are other sources of money potentially in the future, a little bit further than, but, you know, there's grant funding, there's federal and state funding that in the future may be there. So it's not that Harpswell has to pay for the entire cost of rebuilding roads or fixing them. So I think we can, at least we should present information we already have.
Oh, definitely.
And we spend a lot of money getting that information, and it's sad not to have it being used in the future budgeting of the town.
And I think it will be. I think it should be.
Well, it hasn't been yet,
No, it
because
hasn't
it's
been
not
yet.
in a format that's useful, apparently, to the, I don't know what we need to do to make the information that we already have useful and actionable by the,
What they mentioned last year, I'm going by memory here, is we know we should be, and it says it right in our sustainability plan, the town should be putting X amount of dollars away a year to handle this. They're looking for direction on that. Not the amount, but what they should be considering as they look at this. And I think I'm at this point, I'm going to go back to the chair. I'm trying to think of who it is.
Is it Don?
I think it might be Don, but I'm not sure.
The chair of the Budget Advisory Committee?
Because they're going to start meeting in about a month.
Isn't Alan Groves, is he the ex-chairman?
He was ex-chairman of Planning Board.
But was he last year on, wasn't he budget last year?
Was he
I
budget
lost
too?
track.
I think he got off budget,
Yeah, he did.
yeah.
would it be possible to meet with someone?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, just to
Yeah, how
have a
about-
discussion
Linda Hall.
first.
I didn't
Yes.
realize she was the chair.
That seems like we need to present what we have,
Linda Hall.
Yeah.
yeah, and
You know-
then get feedback.
It would be good for us to meet with the committee itself, I think, because there's certain people on the committee that are very much into thinking about this. One of them is, what's his name from Covey's Harbor? Steve Mackin-Pulsifer and Dave Zamorowski. They are very, very much thinking about this. So it would be good, I think, for us
Well,
to meet with them.
think about I come just back to the discussion that we started off today about water, right? And we started about, okay, how are we going to find out about water? And we ended up with, well, you know, really, if we use these grants, try to build the fact that there isn't necessarily a technological solution to our water problem, but if we band together as a community and we gather more information, we'll have a better chance to understand the severity of the issue, and maybe that through that knowledge, we can create a new pathway, right?
Yes.
And we've had this discussion before about, even back to, you know, the example we've raised several times about, you know, in that terrible heat wave that hit Chicago, the people that didn't die were the ones that had community, and the ones that did not have community. So there are certain principles associated with that where we say, okay, let's worry about flooding and roads. We look at it, we come up with a technological solution, we find out the price tag, we go through that. It's it's a really good set of information, but then we run the realization of, will we ever really have enough money to do all this? And it leads us back to, okay, maybe there's another community-related response here that will help us become more resilient as a community, and by community, I mean as a town. So that whole, I mean, we do have a series of loops in our discussion here where we have been gathering good information. It has led us to different conclusions, but this is much easier to relay in a conversation than a, please give us your guidance.
Yes. No, I
Yeah.
think a discussion is really warranted.
So why don't we plan on doing that?
Because they also may not know what they're asking,
Yep.
but they know they're asking for something.
And
but
maybe
through
when
the-
they hear what we have,
It will
you know,
then
they
say,
can
oh
give
yeah,
us
we
more
like that, or
guidance.
no, we don't, that's a crazy idea.
give us more guidance
Yeah.
about whether it's useful or not.
So why don't we plan on having a
And-
meeting with them?
And I just have to say, it's a good position for us to be in, because we would want a dialogue with them, because you want your planning and budget people to be thinking about this, and we don't want to give them it's 10% stupid, you have to have 10% more funding. Right? That's not the answer. The answer is, we have to think about this differently. Here's the journey that we've been on. Here are some of the paths that we've gone down, and we keep coming back to these, sort of alternative solutions. I think that's a really positive outcome. And then you say, okay, well, what do we do with that? Well, how do we as a resilience committee best interact with you as a budgeting committee to figure out how we go forward? And I think it's more of an engagement and dialogue than it is, the answer is 27.
I think some fund would be appropriate. I think that's just one piece of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I know as individual, or like at the library, when we submit our budget
Right.
to them, they ask, well, what do you anticipate your capital expenses to be over the next 5 years?
Right.
So that they have some idea about what kind of a request we're gonna have. So there is that financial
Yes.
component to it, but the other part of it is, so what are you planning, what are your changes in services? What are you planning to add in? And that gets back to that whole community thing you're talking about. There are some things where we can talk about places where there are some dollar solutions. And I keep thinking about the fact that if there is ever a town-wide emergency, we have no beds. We have no blankets. We have no places designated where people can go. That aside from water, that's what kind of keeps me up at night. So we can have some things like that where we say, there are some things that we can plan for resiliency and sustainability that do have a dollar amount affixed to it. But for the other things, we have to be thinking in terms of how do we work as a community to deal with challenges that we know are coming and we know are going to be extraordinarily expensive.
And emergency response, we've had that discussion multiple times about how do we, and you hear it all the time with, on the news all over the place, whether emergency responses are working or not, and,
Well,
know.
what you're talking about makes me think too about community in the broader sense. For example, in an emergency, the Red Cross. So we don't have to set up a whole emergency shelter. We have to call on the Red Cross, for example. So it's a priority thing.
Yeah.
If it isn't, it isn't. But if it is already a functioning system, which would be important to know,
well,
tap into it.
and I think it's also relevant, given that if we had this conversation 2 years ago, we would have talked about FEMA.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean to be political, but the situations are changing, and
Yeah.
the emergency systems that we may have once relied on may not be here. So how do we think about that if literally everything's being pushed down to the state level, and the state level has not a lot of resources? What do we do in that situation? We have to rethink it, right? And so you would have said, okay, we'll wait for the Red Cross, and we could be waiting a long time.
But even when you're talking about the Red Cross, it takes a week for the Red
Yes.
Cross to get there, it takes 2 weeks for FEMA to get there. What are we doing during that first 48 to 72 hours?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That particular issue is a concern always,
Yeah.
always, and no solution.
So.
But I would argue that if there are there are three things that maybe we've learned so far. I'm just throwing these out there as ideas, as my brain's,
Okay, I'm typing.
right? No, don't, this is just
Hold you to
brainstorming.
it.
This is just brainstorming. The first one is identifying what the problem is you think you have and trying to gather the best data you can. That's what we did on the road surveys. That was all really valuable information. And the second thing is then, how does that inform our decision-making going forward? That's one thing we learned. A second one we learned is that when we go down this path, we sometimes discover that what we thought was the original solution isn't. And what we've come back to is how do we make our community more resilient? Which I would say the whole water thing we talked about today was that. We got to all pitch in together and everybody's got to get their wells monitored and join in because it's only safety in numbers is how we're going to learn how the town is changing.
That's right.
And then the third issue is that, but everything is changing. So how do we plan going forward knowing that the systems that we used to rely on may not be the systems that we can rely on in the future? So how do we think about that? How do we incorporate that into what we're doing? And that's what a planning and budgeting committee should be thinking about as well, which is the same stuff we're thinking about.
But and there's actually a fourth thing which came out of that disaster a couple of years ago, was that the regulations were that if you had a bait shack that was more than 200 square feet, you couldn't rebuild it.
Yeah.
And the solution, which ended up not costing us anything, was a legislative one.
It costs us money.
Well, no, but I mean, we're talking attorney's fees and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of,
Yeah.
that we have to expand our minds beyond thinking about that we have to solve this all ourselves.
Right.
And even with the changes in FEMA and Red Cross and whatever, that doesn't mean that there aren't other avenues that we can't pursue.
Right, which comes back to what Deidre was saying.
Exactly.
That's going to happen, 3 years from now. There may be different solutions.
Right.
Yeah.
But even so, we also don't have to have all the money ourselves, which is what you were saying.
No.
What are the other levers that we can use to help us, which is essentially why we set up this fund, right? Right? So that we would be able to have funding available so that we could use it as match for grants so we could go further.
Yeah.
So that's that's how that fits into the fourth
Yeah.
thing that you just mentioned. But that's a dialogue, right, that we could have with them. And then hear what they think about it. They think, oh, you guys are just, smoking crack. It doesn't help us, it doesn't help me at all. I just need to have a number, and it's either 27 or it's 37. Which
It's
one is it?
42, actually.
It's 42, I know. It is 42.
I think we should put some funding toward bumper stickers
Yeah.
that say resiliency thinking.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
that's wonderful. That's number 5. More bumper stickers.
Yep.
Good. Well, let's plan to have a meeting with the Budget Advisory Committee.
That sounds good.
I'll see how we set that up. It'll probably be the 1st of September, I'm assuming. I guess the question is, do we do it as a whole committee? Do we take a few people? Time-wise, how do we do it? Time of day?
Why don't we invite them to one of our meetings?
Yeah.
So that we
That's
don't,
good.
so that we don't have to break with our own routine. Gosh, golly, I'd hate to do that. Jay, just a question, did you capture those 4 points?
I did.
Good for you.
Good, because guess
And
what?
we are
You won't
good.
remember them. You won't remember them.
It's also on the recording, ideally. So we're probably looking, we can invite them to our September meeting.
September, yeah.
That would be good.
Do we want to look at September, or do we want to possibly move that back a week? For a couple of reasons. One, I think we have the grant coming up,
Yeah.
and we also have, I think 9/2 is the day after Labor Day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
I-
why
and
I wanted to talk about our
Yeah.
next September meeting. I was also going to act at the end of this meeting to have a meeting before August 29th.
Right.
One of those, like the last week of the month, for us to figure out if we're going to be doing anything for this grant.
Maybe October makes more sense,
It does.
To
so
meet
we
with
can
them.
get prepared.
Yeah, I think
It's
we
a
get
little too
prepared.
Or
late.
maybe a small, I mean, maybe it's better to take a smaller group, you
Yeah.
know, to them, rather than have them come
Yeah,
to
because
us.
by October, we're supposed to have our money and what we need.
I see, yeah, that's a point.
So,
I mean, but we can present them with how much money we need over a
oh yeah,
number
but
of
that's,
years, so.
but that's different than what they're asking for.
I know, but in order to have that money over those years, we need to start saving, putting some money aside.
And that's why we need to have that conversation with them.
That's what I mean. That's
We're
why
not-
Which is why
we need
she's
to.
saying a smaller group go to them sooner rather than all the delays that will take to get them here later.
Yeah.
When do they meet?
They usually meet on Monday, don't they?
Or like 2 in the afternoon or something.
When do they start? Second week in September or something?
Something like that. Either that or the first week of October.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna probably have a meeting. I can ask Christie when they're gonna have the first meeting.
Yeah, okay.
I have a feeling they're gonna have a meeting in September possibly, because they start, just to start putting their thoughts together. Because they start in October, we have to start giving
Giving our budget
our
request.
budget
yeah.
request. So, all right, I'll find out and just let everybody know. And then maybe we'll just pick, people who were here today would be a good set of people to have the conversation, because we talked about it. Having the whole committee here is good, except that they're not going to be up to speed of where we're at.
But we can put together a presentation for
Yeah,
them
for them, yeah.
that summarizes
Yeah.
all of this.
So who would be interested in meeting with
Slides,
the
yeah.
Budget Advisory Committee?
Jay's already got the presentation done.
No, I mean about the
I have
road
notes.
stuff.
Yeah.
No.
So Tim, are you going to be around, or are you traveling again?
September's a bad month for me.
That's what I'm saying,
August?
October.
August? August? August?
August.
The last
August is possible.
You mean a year from this August?
Yeah,
Possible?
possible.
On Monday, maybe?
Yeah, Monday maybe. Yeah. What date are we looking at?
Well, actually, we could do it while I'm gone. You guys can do it.
Are you gonna go look at the town calendar, or are you looking at? your own
Yeah, let's
personal
just put this up. right?
Stupid calendar.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the town calendar. I look at it
All the time. So August, and we're
By
still
the
in
way,
July.
looking at the calendar, I see that there is a fire and rescue committee. That must be the one you were talking about earlier.
Could have been. Yeah. So this is July or August?
This is August.
Oh, they have stuff up already?
Yeah.
Wow,
I know, they changed the format.
nice. Okay, so August. So, we got 2 weeks in August. Week of the 18th or the week of the 25th?
Is this for the meeting with the budget committee or the grant or both?
Well, we got to talk about both.
Okay.
if we did the 26th, that would basically be 4 weeks from today, and if, in a sense, make that the September meeting like this is sort of the August meeting.
Yeah,
And that's just before the grant deadline, but,
yeah, and the grant's on the 29th, right?
yeah.
I think October makes more sense.
So,
I mean, if we're going to get this grant done, that's going to take quite a lot of time.
yes. But, so we could meet with the Budget Advisory Committee maybe the first week of September? No, but you're gonna be gone.
Well, they aren't even gonna be convening it at that point, are they?
They might, I don't know.
Well, this one, we're kind of guessing when they're even gonna be convening,
Yeah.
so.
They're not on there yet, are they?
Sure, you maybe decide when our next meeting's gonna be,
We need to do that first if we're going for that grant.
yeah.
Set up our meeting, and by the time of our next meeting, we'll have an idea
Yeah,
what their schedule is.
schedule.
Yeah.
So, 26th?
Will that give you enough time to get the grant together?
I think that point it's gonna be more or less final sign-off, isn't it, or?
Yeah.
it's when-
We need people to work on that grant because I'm gonna be gone until the 19th.
We could do it the 19th before Howie's ENT meeting. That's the 19th at 6 PM.
Yeah. Should we do that? Should you do that?
You'll be here.
No, I won't.
You get back on the 18th.
Well, I was wrong. I get back on the 19th. Probably around 7 o'clock. But that's okay. I mean, I'm still in touch, but you guys can do this if we get it pulled together. What I can do is I can flesh out whether or not we can copy the one from,
Georgetown.
and then if there are 2 or 3 people, Deirdre, you mentioned, that have worked on grants before with us, Ken perhaps, that we can mush that into what we would write the grant about.
Do we do sort of, maybe, I wonder if we need two separate things. Maybe we just need sort of a subgroup that's working on the grant.
Yeah,
To focus on that, and then maybe discuss our next regular meeting. And I think the meeting with the grants probably might come a little earlier than our.
yeah, if you
regular
could do
meeting.
that before the 26th,
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
that would be good.
Okay.
Okay.
And you guys can pick that meeting date.
Well,
And some of it we can do back and forth.
You can do
I
it
know
back and
it's
forth
not
on,
review.
Talk about the 26th and the 19th. I'll be away on the 26th.
you're going to be away on the 26th, okay?
So 26th for the next regular meeting.
Yeah.
That should work for me. I don't know others, but you're definitely away. Anyone else?
Well, I'm here.
And the next week on the 2nd.
Oh, so that doesn't matter there. I think you're off the hook.
So if we're having a regular meeting, it's really going to be for the group to make a decision on what we have ready to go for that grant at the meeting.
So the purpose of that meeting on the 26th is to review the grant?
Yes.
Final?
does it have to go to the select board before it's?
Oh, yeah,
submitted?
it does.
I thought that we've done in the past is we could go to the select board earlier, and they would say, yes, we support this. Christie can sign off on it.
Yeah.
And it seemed like one of the ones we did,
Yeah,
literally the 11th hour.
We've
we
done
did-
that quite a few times, actually.
That Christie make sure she's in the loop. But
So we're not in August yet, are we? No.
right.
So the select board is meeting this Thursday, and then they will not meet again until the 10th, is
The
it?
7th and the 21st of August.
So the 21st of August is when we should be ready to go to the select board to give them they don't have to see the final copy, but you have to give them a really fleshed out idea of what we're doing, how much we're asking for, and ask them to have Christie be able to sign it. And So we should shoot for the 21st. I will be back for that. So it will be working amongst ourselves between that period of time to pull this together. We could do a lot of,
You did, Drew.
Okay.
well, why don't we do this? Let me find out what we can plagiarize.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would help.
And then I can send that around to everybody
And when are you heading out? Is it like 3 or 4 days or?
on the 5th,
Oh, the 5th, okay, so
next Tuesday.
okay, so we could have some sort of quick discussion or some update before then on what.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
I'm gonna get you
starting line.
information, and put it this way, I'm going to be on email, just as Tim is. When he's
You
in,
can, yeah, you can, and you can copy me into all the stuff, and I can at least track it
Yeah,
as it
do it.
goes.
Yeah. Give us feedback.
then I'll talk to Christy tomorrow, and, so my to-dos are this grant, and then also talking about the Budget Advisory Committee when they're meeting.
And get approval for your vacation.
I did that already.
Could you come in October to budget advisory?
I suspect yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean.
No, because I know I'm gonna be, I know I'm gone
You're out
on
in
holiday, and
September.
then I am gone to East Africa in September.
All right.
But I have to be back in time for the beginning of October, so I know
I
I'll be
mean,
back
maybe
there.
we should do the budget advisory in October.
Interest?
If we can,
Yeah.
If,
you know, I just don't know that we can do it then.
yeah, so we should check that.
Yeah, okay. Margaret's so helpful in these things.
So the subcommittee working,
The Budget Advisory Committee, the minutes on the website, assuming that they gave all the minutes to the website, which I think they did, only met in November and December last year.
Oh,
Wow, that's late.
That's all the minutes that are on the website, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. I was just looking to see if I could figure out,
If it is, it was late.
yeah, I don't know. That's all the minutes are.
Okay.
so I'm quite confused.
You are.
We're gonna, the committee will meet August 26th.
Yeah.
Yes, prior to the 26th,
The subcommittee.
the subcommittee on this grant will meet amongst yourselves.
Okay, who's the subcommittee, please?
So who's going to be part of this? We've got Tim,
Mary Ann and
we've got
Ken.
Dan.
Oh, no,
No,
not in August. I've had the Alta Library, the book sale on the 125th and all that kind of crap. So
Sorry, okay.
all right, so
that's
Mary
my
Ann,
month, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay.
Mary Ann, Ken,
Deirdre.
Deirdre,
Ken?
Ken.
Tim, long distance.
Yeah.
No, in August you're around.
And I want to be involved too.
And Margaret.
Yeah,
Not that I'll be helpful, but I.
No, but no, I want you
I-
involved.
It'll be my first one,
Leave
so
me
I'm
alone.
interested to learn
No, it
about the
means
process.
maybe, I'm a maybe, I'm a definite maybe.
I got
I think she said Tim.
just
once, Ken
review,
once.
review.
Yeah.
I think like-
I told I
What
would
about
review,
Jay
but I might be able to
and
participate.
Howie?
You have Ken in that list?
Yes.
You don't
Yep,
want me.
yep.
Did you want to be involved in this little group or?
We had,
No, you're not going to be around.
we had, for the grant, we have you, Ken, myself, and Tim as a reviewer.
Okay, You got
And I
Ken.
think we'll probably, I mean, at some point when we're getting close and now the committee as a whole, so.
oh, it's got to, we have, yeah, on the 26th. Let's plan on a meeting on the 26th for the whole committee,
Okay.
Okay.
because we have to vote on whether or not we're going to go for it.
And then Mary Ann, will you set up some kind of conversation?
Yeah.
A Zoom conversation or something about the
What I will
grant?
say is, I'm going to be, the first week I'm in Europe. I'm not going to be, I'm going to be traveling a lot.
But can
the
we do
second
it-
week I won't
How
be.
about this week?
This week?
Yes. I mean, let's get,
No, it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday, we have a whole,
Let's get cracking here.
Tuesday
but at
must be
least 3 or
Belgium.
4 days.
And what we can plagiarize from Georgetown will probably
Yeah.
depend a lot which way we.
We go, yeah, why
Yeah, if
don't
we can get a copy of their grant,
yeah,
that
then
would
we
be
can,
lovely.
then we can do it.
So let's do the majority of the work this week if we can.
Okay,
All right,
I can actually use my Zoom account if we need to.
yeah, that would be great, yeah.
so are you going to set up a Zoom for us?
Well, let me find out what we're
There's a
let's-
doing.
Mary Ann.
there's a town Zoom account too.
Yeah. Excuse me, I have to excuse myself for a moment. And then we can finish up the meeting, set up our meeting date, and then think about the budget thing.
So Tim, you're reviewer of the grant?
Yes, and if there's if I
He's,
can.
he's
participate,
being a reviewer, he says,
Yes.
which will be helpful.
So I think I'm going to ask the Rousick person for a copy of their grant, but we're also trying to find it on the GoPIF website.
Mary Ann said she loved.
She's going to look there. I'm going to contact Jody.
And I'm gonna contact their planning office if they have one. I don't know who does that for them, but we'll see if they have one and they can share some information with us.
So I decided I don't want to take minutes today. Is it too late?
It's a little confusing, isn't it?
No, you picked a good one.
I know.
Did we actually officially, I'm just saying, now that you mentioned it, we didn't actually vote on.
On the minutes.
On July minutes.
Oh, okay.
No. Or
We
the
have one-
June ones, did we?
No, we have June and July.
June and
Right.
July we're
Right.
supposed to vote on.
Well, I know I have a correction for Brittany on the July minutes. Were there any other corrections?
I didn't see any.
Mary Ann,
We
we
just
just realized we.
We never did the
didn't
minutes.
approve the
Yeah.
minutes, and there was both the June and July minutes to approve.
Okay, that's great.
So we start, I move we approve the June minutes.
Okay, a second,
Second. All in favor?
okay. And did we do July yet?
No.
July.
Okay. Move to approve the July minutes aren't any
With the
corrections?
Spelling.
with the misspelling in it? Okay. All in favor? Or I should have gotten a second, and I didn't.
So
Second. I have
Thank
second. Or you could say,
Great. Okay. So we're gonna shoot for some kind of a chat this week.
Not just chat, Zoom meeting to get it. Let's be far along by the end of the week.
Yeah, but the key thing is to get
Get it before
First
Mary
step
Ann
is-
leaves us.
I just gotta
and get a copy of this,
Yeah.
if we can, of
Yeah,
what has
the-
been submitted before. That's like a really important next step.
I'll call
Who is
Jody.
going to do that, and can they do it by tomorrow?
Well, that's what I was just asking. Margaret's going to talk to the planner, I'm going to check with Jody, and you were going to call GoPIF about the language they submitted.
Well, I wasn't gonna call GoPIF, I was hoping to get it from Jody.
Oh, I can call GoPIF too.
Okay.
Great.
Make phone calls.
So, Mary Ann, you'll send us all the materials that we need,
Yeah.
the proposal and all that? Oh, yeah, okay.
With any luck.
Hopefully by tomorrow.
No pressure.
No, really, we don't have much time before
I know we
you
don't.
leave,
Actually,
so-
I'm gonna call Jody. You're gonna call Jody, Jay, or should I call her?
That's what you asked, because you said that Jody likes her more than you.
I know.
I don't have a phone number, though, do you?
I'm not sure that I do
I
either.
have email.
Yeah, well, let's try email. She didn't
I'll just
answer
remind
mine,
her
maybe
that she
she'll
likes
mind me. Yeah, remind her that she likes me and we want to
You can
talk
say,
to her.
Hi, this is Jay, I'm the one you really like.
Yeah, and wow.
Well, I'll start with how much we like their handbook, and
Yeah.
we've been working on it.
That's it.
And we
Yes, we
like
do.
it, we like it so much, we'd like to
We want to copy
talk to them about the other
There's
piece
more
that they did.
Exactly.
We want to
exactly.
copy their proposal.
Will you adopt us in Arousing?
And
Offer them a
actually,
second round draft pick.
they shouldn't mind because GoPIF encourages
Yeah.
towns to share what they,
I don't think
Yeah.
they will mind.
Oh, I
I think
don't-
they'll
yeah, I
be glad.
think-
I don't think they will
Can
either,
imagine they
but, you
won't.
know,
It's just getting it in a timely fashion.
getting it in a timely fashion.
So when the subcommittee meets, you'll be talking about how much costs are. So I'm gonna, and we're gonna see about including the booklet cost for printing and mailing,
Well,
or printing anyway.
we're going to figure out what we can get for $75,000.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask Tim about if he can help with printing costs, what they might be.
You can ask
Or
them, yeah,
something like
yeah.
I won't have much of an answer.
My Tim.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll get that to,
Well, you're going to do a lot for tomorrow. Well, that's very good. Thank you.
what?
You're going to do a lot by tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm gonna try.
Okay, so that's good. So then we'll move, tomorrow we're going to have a deadline to get back to everybody with some information. Well, maybe it'll be
And a Zoom meeting set up, maybe.
in the Zoom meeting. So what are good times? Are there any times that are not good for you guys during the day?
I'm pretty flexible with Zoom.
I mean, we're already, tomorrow's Wednesday, so we're talking Thursday or Friday.
For me, it's Thursday afternoon.
Is good or bad?
Afternoons are better for me. Mornings are terrible.
Afternoons are fine for me. I mean, it's rest of this week.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
So we're talking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So we don't have many days there.
3 o'clock Thursday?
Sure?
Is it floating?
3 o'clock Thursday could work because we have a selectmen's meeting at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock Thursday.
Sure.
Okay.
So a Zoom on, but by then we'll have materials, right?
Sure.
You're really good at being
Like the
subtle, Deidre.
proposal.
I like the proposal. I'm also going to send you the application.
Yeah.
And we have been kind of repeating a lot of our stuff over and over again.
I think.
And if-
Brittany
and
has
if,
some explaining to do.
Jay can get a copy.
Or just get us,
Jay, if you can get something by 3 o'clock Thursday, that would be great.
Okay,
yeah, also because, the last time they just sent us the stuff over really quickly that we were using for what we're doing.
yeah, yeah.
They sent us the template and everything else.
And that was Jody, right?
That was Jody.
Yeah,
That's great.
if she's not in Europe.
She might be. That's the problem.
Or someone else in the office.
Somebody else on the committee could.
Yeah, on the committee.
And I was directed by Karen on Rousick to go to Jody because Jody's been handling all of this, so.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Do we know what they called their study? Was it a
Yeah,
water,
I've got it written down somewhere.
water study? That covered it?
No, it was actually a climate, I'll find out when I get home.
Okay.
Because it was both the water study and the emergency. It was one large grant.
Okay.
It was very general, actually. It was climate resilience something. Yeah.
But did it include resiliency thinking?
Did it include what?
Resiliency thinking.
Yes.
That's gonna be my favorite phrase from now on.
Resiliency thinking is so wide open.
I love it.
I think I'm losing my, okay. All right, so we've got a meeting set up for the 26th at 4 PM here. And meeting this Thursday at 3 PM on Zoom, for those who are involved.
I'll send out a Zoom link.
Thank you. Oh, you're going to do that for us, that's nice.
Date is the Zoom.
Well, town pays for it, let us do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
What day are we doing 3 PM Zoom? What day is the 3 PM Zoom? Or no?
Oh,
Thursday.
the Zoom, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Thursday.
Thursday,
That's
which
right.
is 3 PM on Thursday, which is the 31st.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? I think that's good for now.
What
I'd
about,
say that.
did you want to talk about inviting the budget committee, or are you going to figure that out later?
I'm going to talk to Christie
Okay,
and get some direction.
okay.
Or somebody's going to talk to Christie and get some direction. I think that's it for today. Is there anything else that we should be bringing up at this point? It's a very warm day, too.
Yeah.
Great, thanks so much for coming up with what we came up today. We will, 5:45, 5:45.
But August was supposed to.